Hey guys, this is Callum from EnglishShooting and welcome back to the channel and the Bluefield Sports Gun Room. Now Connors is currently away at the Cottesloe Heath Challenge run by the NRA. It's one of the largest practical shooting matches of the year, and whilst he's out of the gun room, I've managed to pinch his Rhino 120DS. Now, a caveat, by no means am I an accomplished revolver shooter. I've only shot a handful of them across the world, and they are very rare, few and far between here in the UK. I did get to grips with the Smith & Wesson 686 revolver from Tom Ellaway. I was absolutely in love with that, but that's going to run you in the region of £3,000. This, the Chiappa Rhino, imported by RØDE, is a much more affordable option and is proving to be very, very popular. And with Connors disappearing, I've managed to sneak down the range with it, put a few rounds through it, and I want to give a review of it today. The first thing you're probably going to notice is that it doesn't have the original grip. These are, of course, the Form rifle stocks grips for the Chiappa Rhino. Now, they're not made specifically for the long barrel revolver variant, but of course you can see it does fit. These will also fit the non-UK version, so for the international shooters out there, and they do them in a range of different colors. I have made a previous video about the range that is available and also how you fit and install these. Really, really simple. Go and check that out. There'll be a little box that will appear if you're interested in that. I, from the start, would highly recommend getting one of these grips. The original grips, and this is probably one of the only guns that I've really found this, the original grips I found a little too small. I just don't feel that there is enough really to get a good purchase on and get a good grip. And with this gun suggested to go up to 44 Magnum, there's going to be quite a bit of a kick with that, and you want to make sure that you've got a nice big surface area and a nice big grip. And I find that the contour of these grips, the size of them, is really, really nice and makes the gun a lot more comfortable to shoot. But anyway, that's an upgrade that I'd highly recommend. Back to the gun. So I said it's suggested that it can go up to 44 Magnum. Now, I've seen a lot of people online saying that they are available in 44 Magnum or they will be available in 44 Magnum. Personally, I haven't seen one yet in the UK, so I'm sure that's something that's going to come later down the line. At the moment, you can get it in the 9mm version, which this one is, or the 357 or 38 special variant. And I've shot that one as well. We did have a chrome version in the gun room. It was a demo gun, but somebody managed to convince Alex to let him sell it to them because they were so desperate for a chrome version. In terms of the finish, we do have, of course, the black variant, we have the chrome variant, and we also have the nebula, which is this sort of oil slick effect. Very, very funky, something very different. And in terms of the pricing, it really is the colors that sets the pricing apart. So in Bluefield Sports, the black version is £1,160, the chrome version is £1,260, and the nebula is going to run you in the region of £1,300 to £1,500 depending on where you go. We haven't yet had one here within Bluefield Sports, but being a stockist of everything RØDE, Alex can get them in for you if you want. The Rhinos are certainly very unique. The way that it's special is that in terms of the bore axis, usually it's the top of the cylinder where the barrel and bore will be. But with the Chiappa Rhino, they've actually put it on the bottom of the cylinder. Now what that does is it stops a lot of muzzle flip. The higher you put that bore axis, the more leverage effectively the force of the round is going to have, which causes the muzzle to flip on the axes of your hand. Bringing that down, it's sending it sort of more straight back. So you do get a lot less muzzle flip with these than you would with a standard revolver. But what I found is the trade-off for that is it can make them feel a little bit more punchy. Whilst for competition, certainly for fast shooting, you don't want the muzzle moving around. You want it to stay as flat as possible so that you can stay on target and your shot to shot increase. But with it being lower and it's sending it more backwards, so instead of getting the energy being dissipated in the flip, you're getting more being sent back. So even in the 9mm version, I found it to be very punchy. In terms of the 357, when I've shot it, that's even punchier, and I can imagine the 44 being not necessarily difficult to handle, but you're probably not going to want to put hundreds and hundreds of rounds through it in one go. The other thing that makes this revolver fairly unique is the fact that all of the firing mechanism is internal. It looks like it has a hammer on the back. That's not the hammer, that's just a cocking lever. So you can manually cock it. You've got a little cocking indicator. So the hammer is internal, meaning that you can't snag it. The firing mechanism is internal as well, so you're going to have less chance of getting crap and dirt and gunge in there. You can decock the hammer as well. So using the lever, you can just hold the trigger down and manually drop the hammer. You can do it in both single and double action, just like most revolvers. So uncocked, you can just pull the trigger, or you can cock it yourself and have the single action there. So all of the same features and usability of the revolvers that you're probably used to. To swing out the cylinder, you use this little lever here on the side. You can load it up like any normal revolver. You've got your extractors there, and then close it up. One thing to bear in mind between the difference of the 9mm and the 357 are moon clips. Now, the Chiappa Rhino comes cut for L-frame moon clips for 357 and 38 special, and is also cut for the 9mm. The difference is that you have the choice to use moon clips with the 357 or the 38. With the 9mm, you are going to have to use them. Chiappa does supply a little tool which I found was really easy to use, really straightforward, but for 9mm there's no getting away from it. You will need to use the moon clips. I believe it comes with a couple, and you can buy extras here at Bluefield Sports and other shops as well, but something to think about. In terms of why personally I would go for 9mm or 38 or the 357 would be the comfort of shooting it or the cost. If you're going to be doing some serious competition shooting with it and you want to get as many rounds down range, well, 9mm is going to be cheaper and easier to reload. I know the Americans at the moment won't necessarily agree. The other slight design feature on this is that it's got this hexagonal cylinder. Usually they would be rounded. Now, the reason that they've done that is to actually keep the width of the gun a lot thinner. You've got some green fiber optics on the back and then red at the front. I know a lot of people say that having different colored fiber optics allow you to acquire the front sight a lot easier, and I'm inclined to agree with them on that. You've also got some Picatinny rail, so if you wanted to put a red dot and go into open division with this, or you wanted, I don't know, to put a flashlight because you're shooting down at Froome in the dark, then you've got that capability. No, this gun isn't suppressed. Just like most LBRs or LBP, this is just a aluminium shroud out the front. It does make it look a little bit cool. It's a little bit funky to have a suppressed revolver, but it's purely just to cover the 12-inch barrel to make it UK legal. And of course we've got the rod there on the end to make the overall length 24. Personally, for the black version, I'd probably have this Cerakoted or powder coated black just to match the overall gun. So what do I think of it overall? Well, it's very hard to compare to other revolvers here in the UK because we don't have a lot. There was, of course, the Taurus revolver. That was very, very popular. I've had a few shots of those, but they aren't available anymore. The only other revolver that I'm aware of that you can go and get that takes a cartridge round, you can go for the muzzle loading Allen Westlakes, but the only real competitor to this is the Smith & Wesson 686 from RØDE Fat Dog. This is just a completely different gun in terms of the technology and the mechanics of it. The 686, I would say, is much more suited to being a gallery competition gun, you are also going to have a lot more accessories and upgrades available for that gun that you can buy in. Being a little bit rarer, being a little bit more unique, you are going to be limited to the aftermarket options available for the Chiappa Rhino. Having said that, there's no reason this can't be an accurate gallery gun, or even say practical revolver. I know there are a few competitions like that within the UK. You know, shooting it, of course, on the double action, it's quite a hard pull, but on the single, it is a very nice, crisp break. There's like very little take up on that trigger. So shooting it, it can be a little bit punchy. If you're looking for the top tit competition variant of long barrel revolvers here, then I would go and check out RØDE Fat Dog. But if you want to go and save a couple of £1,000 and still have a massive smile on your face, then I'd check out the Chiappa Rhino. So there we go, guys. Let me know what you think of the gun in the comments section below. If you are interested, please get in contact with Blue Field Sports. We'll be more than happy to help you out. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed for future videos. And as always, guys, I hope to see you soon.